Hello everybody, this is Mike and Marty. We're here. We want to talk about episode 91 of Flickers from the Cave. We're trying a video thing. We don't know if it's going to be something we stick with or if it's just going to be a one-off, but we wanted to say hello and thank you for listening. And now, thank you for watching.
And we feel confident that watching us on camera may be more horrifying than any of the films we've ever covered.
That's right. If you wanted to know what movies we're doing It Came From Within. No.
Yeah.
And The Intruder Within.
The Intruder Within. Not the
I just watched it and I can't fucking remember.
The Intruder Within from 1981, a Peter Carter joint,
yes.
I guess. And Francis D. Lyons' Destination Inner Space from 1966.
A lot of inner and a lot of under. Inner's in the title and under's in the scenes.
Yeah, both movies are innies though.
That's right.
So,
and we're in the cave. You're seeing behind the scenes here at Cave Central.
our beautiful fluorescent lit cave.
That's right. We normally don't have all these lights on, but because there's video, we wanted you to be able to actually see where the voices were coming from. So,
although in terms of video, darkness is generally my friend.
Well, hello darkness.
My old friend.
So thanks for tuning in. Up next is the second half of the show. We didn't think about adding video until we had already recorded Destination Inner Space, so it is not in the video. But The Intruder Within is. So,
and it's the superior movie.
It's definitely the superior film. And there are all sorts of alien spoilers in our conversation.
Oh, yeah. So if you haven't
seen 1979's Alien,
we don't know what the fuck is wrong with you. But,
exactly. So,
but don't watch this until you go watch Alien.
Actually, if you haven't seen Alien, don't do anything until you've seen Alien. Just stop everything. Leave your children can get home from school on their own and make their own meals. Watch Alien.
Definitely.
So on with the show.
Shift change.
What?
Hey, what's with the sound effects, man?
I had a dream.
That's what Martin Luther King said. I had a dream. Only this ain't it. Come on. Come on, get up.
Mark. Oh. Something bad's gonna happen. Something bad.
Yeah, we're gonna be busting our backs for the glory of old Zortron oil.
I dreamt that we were all gonna die.
An hour at a time, like always.
Shift change. Let's roll it.
Come on, Phil.
Okay.
All right, so there's a clip from really early on in 1981.
81. The Intruder Within.
That's right, a TV movie.
Yeah, but not a typical TV movie.
Not a typical TV movie, but clearly inspired by and sort of aping the alien thing.
Oh, sure. Yeah, this is, again, like we talk about things falling in the shadow of other things. This is totally falling in the shadow of Alien.
Right.
Yeah. It's a classic kind of setup. It turns to where Alien turns the Nostromo into the giant haunted house, and it takes the haunted house theme and puts it in outer space. This takes the same kind of haunted house theme with a monster,
right,
and puts it on an oil rig that's isolated, and the radio's out, and as you just
right. People's freaking out, man.
Yeah, people are having evil dreams.
The setup is it's a oil drilling rig out in the middle of the ocean, and they are drilling for oil ostensibly.
Yes.
It's got a great cast. It's got
great cast.
Chad Everett is the lead,
and he's unbelievably good.
He's great, and he's totally being Captain Dallas.
Yeah, he's Dallas.
But he is a tool pusher.
He is a tool pusher.
Which I guess is the actual term for the guy who runs the drilling operation.
It's the American version of a toe cutter.
And we have Joseph Bottoms.
Timothy. Is it Timothy or Joseph?
I think it's Joseph.
Okay.
Well, we can check.
We got one of the Bottom Boys.
The Bottom Boys. Well, you got to watch out for those guys. Let's. Why is there no back arrow? Oh, here it is. Joseph Bottoms.
Joseph Bottoms. Okay.
As the Burke, the the company man
Or
who's there on
Ash.
the boat. Yeah.
Yeah, he's the guy that's.
Though he's not a replicant.
He's not a cyborg.
Right.
But you can't kill it. You got to study it.
Right. He is the guy who is pro not murdering this vicious beast.
Which that harkens back to all classic sci-fi stuff.
Everything, all the way back, they did that.
Yeah, there was this. The military wanted to destroy it. The scientists wanted to study it.
Right.
And then the military-industrial complex came along, and they said, "Hey, that thing's unstoppable. We could make a soldier out of that." So,
well, that definitely became the thing later.
Yeah.
And then we've got, what's the woman's name?
Oh, her name.
It's right there somewhere.
Right.
Jennifer Warren.
Jennifer Warren,
And
not the
Jennifer
singer.
Warren's. No, different
singer.
person. And then other great supporting actors.
Yeah, really good supporting cast, even in the kind of bit parts.
Right. Everybody's good in it.
Yeah, everybody's good.
Like, everybody's really good in it.
And the writing is surprisingly high level for a TV movie.
Really
Especially
natural dialogue.
Yeah, from this era. And a genre thing, too. Such a kind of high concept thing where it really, the whole movie could easily have just rested on the setting and the monster.
Right.
They
Right.
made a conscious choice to create some humans, like some interesting characters that you actually genuinely start to kind of are concerned about. You care about them.
We talked about the same thing with Shark's Treasure, where you really had everything you needed with guys going in the water and
Right.
guys fighting and stuff, and then they decided to make it way more than that.
Oh,
and
yeah.
up the ante by adding all that stuff that made it interesting.
Yeah,
Right?
I think that's a very good analogy as to Shark's Treasure, because that could have been a boatload of stereotypes, and it would have still been fine because it had all the kind of cool action trappings that it
Right.
needed.
Right.
And this is the same way. It has all the stuff that would have satisfied a genre fan, but
Well, it did.
They
So
went-
I had no idea when I watched it at however old I was, 81. So that would have been
I was
15.
14, 15.
I mean, I loved this. I thought it
Me
was
too.
great. And I didn't give two shits about what they were saying.
I didn't either.
Just get on with it.
Right.
Show
Let's
me
get
the
to that
monsters
rubber
someday.
monster.
Right.
And let's get to something coming out of somebody. You know?
Where now I'm more interested in things going into something.
Well, it's a different kind of movie too.
I can't raise base on the radio, or anywhere else for that matter. We're cut off. I can't even send a distress signal. If we had a blowout and sank, nobody'd know about it for weeks.
Now, wait a minute. It's against regulations to transmit on open bands.
Why?
I told you, Zortron wants to keep this drill site a secret.
Zordron, don't you understand what I'm telling you? I violated your open band order. No result. We're cut off. Now, what'd you do to that radio?
Jay, come on. A little paranoia and moderation. It's okay, I'll buy it. Now, yours is getting way out of hand, man. I'm a geologist. All I know about radio is that it's older than TV.
Look, Scotty. I got a panicked crew. I got a radio that someone or something is interfering with. I got a dead man on board. And the supply ship doesn't get here for a week, huh?
Do what you have to do.
That's the equivalent of them finding out again to throw back to Alien.
Mm-hmm.
That's when Dallas goes into the room where he talks to Mother.
Yes.
And he finds out that the crew, it says crew expendable.
Yes.
Bring back alien
Does
species.
Dallas see that,
Is
or
that
Sigourney
Dallas?
Weaver?
I'm trying.
I think
It
it's
just
Ripley.
occurred to me. I think that might be Ripley. I think that's after Dallas is killed in the air duct.
Right, because Dallas,
Spoiler.
Dallas goes in there at the very beginning to find out why they've been woken up, and
Right.
Mother tells them about the distress beacon, and that's it.
That's right. Yeah.
Because Ripley
You're
has to
right.
go in and do all those overrides and stuff, and that's when
Yes.
she sees the bad news, and that's when
That's
Ash
when-
is standing right behind her.
Yes, that's when she and Ash have their little.
So if you haven't seen Alien, sorry,
Well, you probably
then fuck you.
you need to be doing something besides listening to us talk.
But it's great, and that really shows the sort of, I think, the writing and also the acting. I mean, I don't think you need to see it to get how good that exchange was between those
No.
two guys. So that's the setup. They're out there. Something has happened. They brought something up with their sluicing, where they're
Their
bringing
core
stuff up.
samples, because he tells them to bring up some core samples.
And honestly, it was funny. When we initially watched this movie, I missed one element of a thing that I realized when we were looking for clips, and that was the first monster that comes up. He says was a guardian, like it was like a creature that was left by the eggs to guard it. So
It's like a nest watcher.
right. So when the eggs were brought up, which don't look like eggs, they look like really fucked up kind of spiky balls. They look like really large, like those things you get in your bladder when you like kidney stones. That's
Right.
what they look like.
Giant kidney stones.
Like maybe the
Oh,
BFG's kidney
That's
stones.
horrifying, because I've had kidney stones, and the idea of a kidney stone the size of a plum is the most horrifying thing that I can imagine.
So was cool that there were multiple versions of these creatures. One that just watches the eggs, and then the ones that come from the eggs.
Well, they make reference in the course of the film to the sort of evolutionary process
Yeah.
of this creature, and that it was a super predator that existed. It coexisted at one point with a lot of other animals, and it was just so dominant
Right.
that it was essentially taking over. It was going to be the alpha species.
Right.
And then there was a catastrophe of some time.
Atlantis.
Some sort of catastrophic event, like meteor strike.
Right.
You know, this is all pre-Diluvian kind of stuff, antediluvian events.
Right.
So
I think they're hinting at a Lemuria sort of Atlantean
that's
catastrophe.
all really cool to me.
Yeah.
So, and again, stuff that would have been absolutely been lost on me.
And they don't say it. We're totally adding that. But that's what's cool. This thing leaves room for you to put your own shit in it.
Right, and that's the best stuff.
Yeah.
It's the stuff that, like, now because we, at the age we are now, we know we've experienced more, read more, know more about sort of alt history, you know, all this sort of little intuitions that someone incorporated into the script mean something to us that they would have never meant in the past.
Or even if they meant it, they might not have felt safe to say it openly because they might have been sort of ridiculed for it.
Right. But I'm sure that, like, in 1981, there was some, because we watched
I knew about it.
Well, we watched it at 14 or 15, but I'm
Right.
sure there was like some guy that had been reading like Sitchin and reading
Van Daniken.
Von Daniken and all that stuff, incessantly.
Right.
And was going, hey man, they're talking about this is all about Atlantis, or this is all about.
I loved all that stuff, like
Yeah.
the Fantastic Journey or whatever, the thing with Ike Eisenman where they went into the Bermuda Triangle. Do you know what I'm talking about? And they met that dude that was played by he had a medallion that he wore. But you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know
because
exactly
the dude was in everything, really good looking dude. And he was he had like robes and shit and was a wise member of this lost civilization. Yeah, I love that shit. I think there were maybe 7 episodes of it. It wasn't much. Roddy fucking McDowell was in it.
Was he really?
Yes, he was.
I don't remember
he was
Roddy
part of
McDowell.
He was
being
part
there.
of the crew. Yeah.
He was TV's James Mason.
It's really, really good. It had like little monsters, and they would discover lost things. It was very Land of the Lost.
Yeah, but I think it had higher production, as I remember.
Which, did you see what I have from my Facebook face icon?
I don't know.
I have Enoch from Land of the Lost.
Oh, wow.
I had like because I told you I've been like
Right,
I've fallen down the Land of the Lost hole,
rabbit hole,
1,000 feet below, and I
the
was just,
greatest earthquake ever known.
and that just I had to do something, and I was looking at Sleestack pictures and stuff.
You fell down a slee stack hole.
Oh man, and you got to watch out for those things. They're spiky all the way down.
Good steak?
Prime sirloin. Have the mashed potatoes. The gravy's real good. Have some salt.
Pass the hot sauce. Good looking steak. Come on, try the mashed potatoes. Wilma made a real mean red gravy.
I don't believe this. We just lost Sam, and you dudes are talking like we're at some kind of banquet.
Now, take it easy.
You take it easy. This ain't an oil rig, it's a floating graveyard. Now, who's next, Jake? That's what I want to know.
Look, we're all under the gun, Chili. I'm just as dumpy as you are. Now, what can Jake do? What can anybody do?
Get us out of here! There ain't no oil here. There's death here.
We're not on the Queen Elizabeth. We can't just jack down and sail off the base. We're going to wait for the supply ship. We're going to sit and wait.
Ooh, you think any of us are going to be here to see the supply ship? Something's wrong. We don't know what it is, but Jake does. And so do you, schoolboy. Now you tell me why Sam's dead, hmm?
Could have been anything. Epileptic seizure, stroke.
No. No! This rig is doomed. It's gonna kill all of us.
So you can hear in that clip that the crew is getting increasingly suspicious because they obviously there have been a couple of deaths at this point. They know some shit's out of whack. They know something's wrong. They think that Chad Everett knows what's going on, and he really doesn't at this point. But they assume because he's sort of the head man on the ship or on the platform that he's got the skinny, and he doesn't because Timothy Bottoms is hiding all this stuff from him.
Mm-hmm.
So then he turns his ire towards Timothy Bottoms, college boy, schoolboy.
Look at the big brain on Timothy.
Yeah, look at the big brain on Brett.
That dude,
yes,
Frank Whaley, he's in Luke Cage.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's got a huge part.
He's really good.
Yeah, he's
We're not talking about the guy that's in The Intruder Within. We're talking about Brett from Pulp Fiction.
Right.
But
who loves him a big kahuna bird.
That's right. Because they have the metric system. That's the worst, the most uncomfortable scene that you've ever seen somebody get the answer right in.
It's such good stuff.
As soon as he says that, I remember seeing that for the first time going, oh shit.
Right. Like, is that going to go well that he got it right? Or is that going to go really bad?
I never thought it was going to go well.
Well, I was hoping it was.
It immediately made me feel like, oh my God.
Well, that whole setup where they're getting their guns out and how many people are in there, we should have shotguns for this job.
That's right.
And stuff. And you're like, what the fuck? And then it's kids and everybody's freaking the fuck out. And yeah.
All right, now let's get into characters.
And look, ain't no reason to throw a motherfucker out of a third floor window or whatever.
That's right. Foot massage ain't like putting your tongue in the holiest of holies.
Anyway, so there's a scene from the movie where tensions are high.
Yeah, the crew's starting to get a little squirrely.
They're crazy squirrely because they've seen a few teammates die or go batshit crazy and jump off the top of the fucking oil rig.
That's right. The dude just kind of leaps off the crane.
The dude who's kind of like the grandpa of the group. The old dude that's seen it all and everybody
This was his last time on the rig.
He never says he's getting too old for this shit, but he might as well.
Yeah, because he is clearly the guy that had one. I got one more trip in me, boys, and then I'm
more gallon of oil, and it's quits time for me.
Retiring.
So yeah, there's a lot of weirdness that happens.
Yes,
and clearly there's some strange shit going on beyond that. And the guy that Chad Everett plays, who's the tool pusher, he's none too happy. But everybody thinks he's in on it and are accusing him of it.
Right.
So there's all this sort of. It's not quite to the level of The Thing where people aren't trusting each other, but it's getting there.
Nothing approaches that level of paranoia. No. But and I really don't want to.
No, I don't want to spoil
it. Ruin it and tell you everything that happens because it builds a nice kind of tense atmosphere and you really because this is sort of. Again, not exactly like The Thing, but there are elements of that where, this creature people can become infected with aspects where, you can have certain kinds of contact with parts of the creature or attacked by the creature, and then you change, and you're now part of, and there's a whole thing that I'm not going to go into that happens that is like crazy heinous way to become infected by the creature that is shocking to me that it was in a 1981 TV movie.
Harry. What happened to you? Look at this.
So, yeah, I mean, I don't want to go so far into the plot of, or the specifics of the plot that we ruin the suspense, because there really is, they do a great job of building tension. And we should mention, we haven't really mentioned the director's name. The director's name is Peter Carter. And weirdly, this is the second film by Peter Carter that we've covered. We had no idea when we went into this that we had covered one of his films, but we did a movie called Rituals with Hal Holbrook and Lawrence Dane.
Which was amazing.
Which was this, like
an old
Deliverance crossed with The Hills Have Eyes kind of thing.
Yeah.
It was this really far out.
It was Canadian.
Kind of stalker, kind of survival.
Yeah, but like way more like a Deliverance-y kind of thing, but with a boogum, like a scary monster.
Yeah, like a mutant guy thing, and it was really good.
Yeah.
So when we started looking into this, we were just excited because it was something that we remembered from our 14, 15-year-old days, and then we go, oh, well, shit, look at there's Peter Carter.
We wanted to do this forever. But we wanted to do it because we remembered it fondly. Had no idea that it was connected in any way to anything we had done previously.
No. But as always, that's a cool happenstance, and that's happened so many times. And we were talking off mic about how now Peter Carter moves up on the list of directors that we've covered above people like John Frankenheimer.
Like Oscar winners.
Yeah, like legendary guys that made Midnight Cowboy. And
but stuff. He's nowhere near Mr. Fulci.
We're never going to top Fulci, because invariably we're going to go back and do another Fulci.
Yeah, absolutely, we will.
Fulci, set, and then
I'm not quite ready.
He's just gonna bump right back up there. So
because everyone he gets, somebody's got to get like two more to beat him. So it's never gonna. He's
Fulci
never gonna be beaten.
Is like the Flickers from the Cave version of Gazoo on the Flintstones. He's always just kind of floating around, like watching over the podcast,
calling us dum-dums.
Yeah, making sure everything's okay.
Yeah, exactly. So here's a couple of oddball ones that we pulled out of the foggy past,
the murky depths of the cave.
So we hope you enjoyed these, and we hope you enjoyed the new video portion of the podcast. If you were interested and actually watched it, so we'll see. We'll wait and hear what the response is to this, and see if anybody gives a shit that we that we're on camera.
Right.
So if you only heard us, then thanks for listening again, hopefully. And if you saw us, we're sorry, but it's the best we can do.
We'd like to end this podcast with an apology.
That's right. If you have any complaints about how we look, address those to the good Lord who made us this way.
Yes.
Actually, I guess McDonald's and French fries have had a little bit of a hand in me. So
I evolved from an alpha predator, from an antediluvian era.
From that to this higher level being.
Yes.
But you still maintained your alpha predator inner workings. So you're now the ultimate warrior, really. Yeah,
I'm the ultimate, male pattern baldness, paunchy, middle-aged warrior.
With a vast knowledge of B-grade genre films.
I got that going for me, so I do have that.
So thanks for listening. Let us know what you thought. Write to us, flickersfrom@yahoo.com, flickersfrom@gmail.com.
Hit us on the Facebook page.
And just let us know what you're thinking, and get ready for more, because we have a quick turnaround election time show.
Election up, what do they call this?
Next up on the Flickers from the Cave election report.
Election special. Election night special.
We've got a little something special for you, for all you American listeners who are caught up in this miserable goddamn miasma of fucking election election bullshit. So we've got a little something special that we're going to try to crank out and get out to you just ahead of the election. So
and just to make sure
sway
you don't have to worry that because Trump is one of the people that's running for office, we're not going to do I Spit on Your Grave.
No, that's right. Or I grab your pussy.
That's right.
So thanks for listening. We'll be back soon.
You? Some man pin you down?
It was for about 15 minutes. I was very young, and my mother didn't want to let the richest boy in town escape.
What'd the rich boy do?
He beat me. A lot.
So you left him?
No, I shot him.